Ladies and gentlemen, fellow viewers, welcome to CNE Special Edition. It's difficult these days to talk about annual events in Southern California without talking about the LA County Fair in Pomona, the annual Caribbean Sea Breeze Festival in Long Beach, or the Southern California Wine Festival in Van Nuys without mentioning the merciless fires. These fires have destroyed thousands of homes and displaced thousands of people within the past 3 years in Southern California. These fires not only destroyed property, but also caused severe injuries and took away lives of helpless civilians and courageous firefighters. On Saturday, August 29, 2009, a brush fire on the Palos Verdes Peninsula was fully contained by a team of highly responsive firefighters. This fire broke out around 8 p.m. on Thursday, August 27, 2009, but as compared to other fires in Southern California during that same period, the 6 homes that were affected in the Palos Verdes Peninsula suffered minor damages. Today, in our CNE Special Edition, we will be talking to Mr. Ted Ndiyop, a resident of the Palos Verdes Peninsula, who will help us understand the efficiency in the containment of this blazing fire. Mr. Ted Ndiyop, as we shall find out in our interview, was notified of the proximity of the fire by a relative via phone call. As you watch this interview, please keep in mind, as some Angelinos will say, you get what you pay for. Good evening, Mr. Ndiyop, and thank you for having us here today.
Good evening, Gerard. The pleasure is mine.
Well, since we are here, there is so much going on around in California besides the fires and everything. Now, can you tell us who Mr. Ndiyop is?
That's a good question. Mr. Ndiyop, also known as a Tangcho, is a hospital administrator in the Los Angeles area, California, as a matter of fact. I'm a licensed hospital administrator, and I currently work in the city of Torrance, area administrator. That means I manage more than one hospital, and it's been a pleasure doing that. I love what I do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, a couple of weeks ago, you were faced with an ordeal of a fire here in Palos Verdes. Was this your first experience?
Actually, this was not the first experience. If you live in California, you know the fires almost every year. It's my second experience living in the Palos Verdes Peninsula. This was a little unusual in the sense that it lasted all night as opposed to the first fire experience.
So now, having a fire in Palos Verdes, which seems to be a pretty quiet area, when did you exactly realize or get to know that there's a fire?
Actually, I go to bed 11 p.m. every night. I make it a point of duty to go to bed at 11 and wake up at 6 a.m. during the week. And this was one of those days that I worked so hard during the day. I came home. I was about to go to bed around 10:30 to start unwinding and to go to sleep by 11. And a phone call came in from a family member of mine asking me about the fires. As a matter of fact, I was already a little drowsy and not focused much on what was going on, just getting ready to sleep. That was when I turned on the TV and found out that the fire was not too far away from my house, about 3-5 minutes away from my house. And if you are familiar with Palos Verdes Peninsula, it's a rocky area, hilly area, but the weather is excellent. And I would think that a few things played an important role in making sure that the fire didn't last a long time. 1, the efficiency of the fire department. 2, the fact that it's a peninsula going far into the ocean. And thirdly, the elevation which means in the night you have the ocean influence of the air. There's water, the moist water, the air flowing inland. And that really helped a whole lot to make sure that the fires were not as devastating as those you had around Azusa, La Cañada, and all that stuff. Right. But I give credit more to the efficiency of the fire department. It's an excellent fire department here in Palos Verdes.
Oh, great. Now, what is your community, doing to try to avoid this type of an event, of a fire, probably, hopefully not bigger than what happened?
The reality is, every Palos Verdes Peninsula resident is very much aware of what happens on a yearly basis. They keep their surroundings very tidy, make sure the brush is not very close to the home. And if you realize it, part of the area that was burned so largely was the rolling hills going down towards the ocean, which are not very much inhabited. And when it came closer to the homes, they couldn't really get that close because we make it a point of duty to keep our surroundings clean and tidy and keep away the brushes.
Quite. Now, there is no way that I can continue with the interview without asking you about your family. Now, when all of this happened, did anything flash in your mind? Let's say when you had to wake up at 10:30 p.m. Did you for once think about, what you have to do, or the fire is here, the house, and everything? Did you think about your family, or what did you think? What flashed into your mind?
The reality is, when you wake up, if I were sleeping already, I would have been more confused, but I was in a trance, not really sleeping yet. So I knew it was not such a threat to us. Okay. One, I had faith in the fire department. Two, it was a little ways from my house, so I knew if it was coming closer, the police department will alert us and let us know what to do. My whole family was here with me, but my extended family was safe somewhere. But I knew there was enough time for me to take care of my immediate family if the danger was that close.
Right. Now, earlier you mentioned something about specifically the efficiency of the Palos Verdes Peninsula Fire Department. Now, do you think that the fact that some other parts of Los Angeles that had this same disaster, do you think that if they had an efficient fire department, do you think the fires would have been less disastrous?
Absolutely, absolutely, I would say so. It depends how well funded the city fire department is. I can assure you the Palos Verdes city is well funded. Taxes are very high, and they pay attention to what they do. The environment makes a big difference. The neighborhood makes a big difference. I can tell you from experience that there are certain areas in Los Angeles whereby you call the police department, it will take 10 minutes to get there. Some may never show up. There are some areas where you dial 911, the police department is there within a second. So I will not completely rule that out, that the efficiency, the location makes a big difference as to how these fires are tackled.